Guys, and welcome to HubTalk. Today we will be talking about the MTA Capital Plan Program overview for 2020 through 2024, the next 5 years in rebuilding New York's transportation system. Now, as you may have been aware, this presentation was unveiled to the public earlier this week because we are in 3 months end of the 2015 to 2019 program, and with the new year comes a new program. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get this Hub Talk commentary started. NYCT right away. Right in the pictures right in front of you is two R179s, one as a J train and the other one right in the middle track. Here's what New Yorkers will receive: a faster, accessible, and more reliable transportation network, more frequent service and reduced crowding, accelerated program of state-of-the-art signal projects, more stations accessible for all people of all abilities, improved reliability and faster travel times, expanded network capacity to more commuter wide regions, and increase environmental sustainability and resiliency. On the picture on your left-hand corner of your screen, you will see an R160Q train, all Stomp brand, all wrapped in a Second Avenue Subway decal when the 86th Street station first opened and commissioned back in January of 2017. MTA Capital Plan highlights: the 2020 through 2024 capital program is the MTA's largest ever capital plan by far, 70% larger than the 2015 to 2019 program, making unprecedented investments in the region. An unprecedented investment of $51.5 billion, including more than $40 billion for New York City Transit, revitalizing the system and building on the successful investment of the Subway Action Plan. The program will deliver major benefits, including more frequent and reliable service on 6 line segments, including the Lexington Avenue line, serving over 50% of riders throughout modernized signaling. 70 new ADA accessible stations beginning now. Stations serving over 60% of passengers will be ADA accessible. Over 1,900 new subway cars and more than 2,400 new buses and hundreds of new commuter rail cars. Full funding for Second Avenue Subway Phase 2 and construction of 4 new MetroNorth stations in the Bronx. New York City Transit Subways and Staten Island Railway. Priority initiatives. Station signal modernization. Oh, by the way, guys, the total investment for New York City Subways and Staten Island Railway is $37.3 billion. Signal modernization, $7.1 billion. 6 new line segments with modernized signaling, including the Lexington Avenue line, doubling the truck's miles with modernized signals. Okay, we discussed that. Over 50% of passengers will be served by modernized signals on a total of 11 lines. I discussed that in the commentary earlier. You can see it in the exclamation point mark on the upper right hand corner of your screen. New power substations and contact rail to support advanced signaling. Station accessibility, $3.5 billion. Stations serving over 60% of passengers will be ADA accessible. 66 new elevators and ramps, up to 66 more stations. 4 more stations accelerated into the 2015-2019 program. Customers will be no more than 2 stations away from an accessible station. So what that means is that no more than 2 stations. It'll be 2 stations or less, or like every other station along a subway line that has the ADA usage of 60% or more. Subway cars: over 1,000 new B division Kawasaki R211s and over 900 new A division subway cars, the R262s, which will replace the R62s and the R62As. Contract award and manufacturer to be announced. Equipped for modernization signaling. Mean distance between failure. MDBF increases from 65,000 miles for the oldest cars to at least 150,000 miles for new replacement cars, mitigating up to 10% of delays. Station improvements: renewing stations and addressing components and needs of critical repairs at about 175 stations, 37% of the system. Includes replacements of up to 65 escalators and up to 78 elevators at the end of their useful life. Track: $2.6 billion. Oh, and by the way, guys, station improvements is $4.1 billion and subway cars is $6.1 billion. Track: approve 60 miles of track replaced and 20 miles of continuous welded rail CWR installed. CWR has a longer useful life, less than half the rate of rail brakes, and creates a quieter, smoother ride. CWR will reach 90% coverage of all possible locations. The 2nd Avenue Subway to East Harlem, 125th Street, Lexington Avenue. 2nd Avenue Subway Phase 2 will add 3 new fully accessible stations and a new connection with MetroNorth Railroad, serving 300,000 daily riders together with Phase 1. It will further alleviate congestion on the 4, 5, and 6 trains on the IRT Lexington Avenue line and strengthen access to jobs and education for Harlem and East Harlem residents. Together with the 2015-2019 program funding, the 2020-2024 plan provides the entire $6.9 billion project cost, shared approximately 50-50 between federal and local sources. So guys, that means that all the stations of the Phase 2 2nd Avenue Subway line will have elevators. Because you know why? Because along 2nd Avenue there's NYCHA housings, there's apartments, there's residents. Certain people that are wheelchair bound or has some type of walking disability will have the elevators. We'll have the elevators to be in use for them for their full potential. Moving on. New York City Transit and MTA buses. Replacement buses, $2.3 billion. Replace over 2,200 of the oldest buses throughout the entire network. 39% of the current fleet, including electric, hybrid, and compressed natural gas buses. And don't forget diesel buses as well. New buses have a mean distance between failure, MDBF, of 12,700 miles versus a fleet wide average of 6,300 miles. Average age of New York City Transit fleet will decrease from 5.5 to 5.1 years by 2024. MTA Bus Company fleet will decrease from 10.5 to 3.4. Improve customer experience. $109 million. Onboard digital information screens to provide real-time service information. Improve traffic enforcement using cameras on bus lanes. Traffic signal priority for faster service. Additional buses $217 million. Expand the bus fleet by over 175 buses. Allows network redesign to provide more and better service. Improve service reliability and ability to increase service. So I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but all throughout the years, all throughout the years so far in this decade, we have replaced so many older buses. Buses that were used in the 1980s, buses that were used in the early 90s, buses that was used in the mid 90s, buses that was used in the late 90s, and buses that was used before 2005. And I'm not going to say the bus types because I've said it numerous times. If you don't believe me, take a look of all my videos. That'll answer your question. Depots. Reconstruct Jamaica Depot, which is $180 million, and replacement of maintenance and equipment to keep more buses in service. So the reconstruction of Jamaica Bus Depot. As you all know or may not know, the Jamaica Bus Depot is the oldest bus depot in all of New York City, all throughout the entire bus division of New York City. At 80 years old, that bus depot has shown its age. Okay? Right now, what the MTA is trying to do with Jamaica Bus Depot is that they're trying to find bigger land, or they're trying to buy more land, or try to buy out the business that they try to buy out the businesses that surrounds the bus depot, so that they can expand the bus depot by large numbers around the fleet, by large amount of square feet, so that they can provide not only housing but the proper maintenance that the buses truly deserve. And maybe even in the future, that bus depot, the Jamaica Bus Depot, will receive articulated buses in the future. It's written in stone that even the Q5 and Q85 and maybe even the Q4 will become SBS routes, but that's way deep in the future. But first, Jamaica Depot needs to be constructed. Needs to be reconstructed. They can take articulated buses, but they cannot, because you know why? The depot does not have the maintenance nor the tools to store and maintain articulated buses. That is why depots like Jamaica Depot needs to be worked on. And as I got a word from my boy King Excelsior and Auto, that they finished new command center, which is adjacent to the East New York Bus Depot. So in late 2019, so later on this year, expect to see joint company forces between New York City Transit Authority buses and the MTA bus company, and it's going to be a testing with the Staten Island later on this year. Electric buses, $1.1 billion. Purchase 500 all-electric buses, including some replacement and additional buses. Began transition to zero-emission fleet throughout the entire network. Reduce greenhouse gases and improve air quality. After 2029, all purchases will be all-electric buses. So that means 2029 will be the last year that will see any diesel, hybrid, electric hybrid, and or compressed natural gas buses. So that means starting in 2030, every single bus in the MTA system will be all electric, and modify up to 8 depots for electric bus fleet. So what that means is that electric charging ports was going to be installed inside the bus depot, so that when the electric buses do arrive back to the bus depot, the bus driver, the depot worker, or the maintainer, or whoever works at the depot can simply plug the charger into the bus's charging port and just charge the battery up for these buses. That's what it means. Oh, and right beneath the electric bus boxes is the demo bus of the MCI LE. That bus was tested last year all throughout the Brooklyn, Bronx, and Manhattan bus divisions. Okay? Oh, sorry. Brooklyn and Staten Island express bus divisions. Sorry. Before the SIM prefix came around. So later on in 2020-2024 year, later on in this upcoming capital plan program, we will expect to see that bus out on the road in the streets of New York, and I can't wait. MTA's Long Island Railroad total investment $5.7 billion. Priority initiatives, signal and communications, $364 million of signals and communication. Replace 32% of switches, 21% of track circuits, and 11% of grade crossing equipment at locations with the highest maintenance needs. Upgrade signals and interlockings on 3 branches due to age and technological obsolescence. Upgrades will improve signals state of good repair by 22%. Track $1 billion. Install concrete ties and continuous welded rail to increase durability, reliability, and customer comfort. Upgrades and reconfigurations of infrastructure at Jamaica Station will improve reliability and reduce service impacts. Upgrades will bring over 90% of track access to a state of good repair. Rolling stock, $487 million. 160 new electric cars expands fleet by 13% for Eastside access. Fleet growth allows for at least 25,000 more seats into Grand Central Terminal during the AM rush. Purchased nearly 20 coaches and over 10 locomotives. New fleet mean distance between failure, MDBF, performs 6 times better than retiring cars, mitigating up to 11% of delays. Station improvements, $910 million. Up to 7 additional ADA accessible stations. 93% of stations serving 97% of customers will be accessible. Component work and upgrades at 20 plus stations, including platform, elevator, and escalator replacements. Work benefits up to 50% of riders. Okay guys, as you all know that soon and very soon, during the duration of the upcoming capital plan program, the M3 fleet that's currently running on the Long Island Railroad at this time will cease to exist. It will come to an end by 2021 when all 220 Kawasaki M9 electrical multiple unit cars are expected to be on LIRR property by 2021. Okay? And as you know, on the 18th anniversary of 9/11, which was last week, the Long Island Railroad started the in-service debut of the Kawasaki M9's electric multiple units. And there's some things I gotta say about this. As you all know, a video went viral last week of Michael Cam, aka Fan Railer, getting the middle finger shown at him by a very hothead and irate MTA LIRR conductor. Okay? Now, when I thought about this video, Michael Cam, I'm just gonna say this. You're full of shit. You really are full of crap. Cause you ain't innocent, boy. You wanted to start trouble. It is no scenario to my mind that makes me want to have the camera pointed at the man's face like that, okay? Now, I'm not standing up for the man, okay? He should have acted the way he acted. And he should have known better, too. And he should have got the... He should have got the memo from the get-go that the public was told by MTA's Long Island Railroad that the public can take pictures of the Kawasaki M9 when it debuted its service. And then he got the nerve to say, call police? Like, dude, my guy, my man, the police are not gonna do anything. Police gonna come over and waste your time for what? And they're not gonna see nothing. You call the police over dumb shit like this that can be easily resolved, that can be easily dealt with. You know you're wasting money for the police department for gas, for time that's being wasted over nothing. They should be out on the streets investigating, stopping some real crime from happening in the city. But no, they instead antagonizing and harassing rail fanners. Okay, so that guy's a freaking hothead. Cause I would never point a camera. When I do my train filming, I never point the camera at train conductors. Never. I never point no camera at the train conductors. I either point it at the exterior signage of the train. That's what I do. Okay. So the fact that Cam had his camera on the MTA conductor, Michael Cam was in trouble. And second of all, I don't feel sorry that you got the middle finger, because 2 years ago, when your foaming ass was all around the New York City Transit Subway system stalking the R179, you gave a fellow rail fanner the middle finger. I don't give a fuck who's your friend or not. I don't give a rat's ass. I can say whatever I want. My statement is my statement, and I said what I said. You are crap. Okay? You're the one giving middle fingers left and right, and think that the same shit is not gonna be thrown back at your face? Oh! You thought, again, karma came to you in the worst possible way. And I also don't feel sorry for you, because not only did you stalk the R179 all throughout the entire subway system back in 2017, but this year in 2019, you stalked all of Queens and Nassau County for a Kawasaki M9 electric multiple unit. And you got the nerve to point finger at someone else saying quote unquote, oh, I called the picking yard. I didn't call no yard to get no train. If I see a train, I catch a train. If I see a train on set from where I am now, you best believe I'm catching that train on camera. I don't need to call no yard or nothing to get verification saying that the train will be there and there and there at a certain time. Like you fucking crazy, fucking stupid. And I'm glad your ass got the middle finger. And I don't feel sorry for you at all. Serves you right, Michael Cam. You deserve it. Anyway, moving on now. Eastside Access, scheduled for completion in December of 2022. Eastside Access will allow more than 160,000 daily Long Island Railroad customers out from the depths of Long Island and in Queens County to travel to Grand Central Terminal, saving up to 40 minutes per day and creating room in Penn Station for MetroNorth Railroad service via the Hellgate line. Okay, about the MetroNorth Railroad service, the fact that MetroNorth is building 4 new stations in the Bronx, which will be called the new Hellgate line, which will go directly into Penn Station. I'm going to talk about that in the next slide over. LIRR mainline expansion, scheduled for revenue service by December of 2022. This project will add a third track on 10 miles on the mainline corridor, used by 40% of LIRR customers, along with 2nd Avenue along with Eastside Access and Jamaica capacity improvements. A 60% increase in reverse commute and a 50% increase in peak service between Manhattan and Long Island will be enabled. MetroNorth Railroad investment total of $4.7 billion. Grand Central Terminal train shed and Park Avenue tunnel and viaduct, $895 million. 100-plus-year-old structures used by 700 trains per day and over 80% of customers. Phase 1 of the 75-acre Grand Central Terminal train set, a 1.5-mile Park Avenue viaduct, and 4 new emergency exits in the Park Avenue tunnel. Harlem Line capacity improvements, $184 million. Progress infrastructure work to improve reliability and support a future third track. Construct 2 new substations, design 3 more. Relocate and expand parking at Southeast Station to allow for further future Brewster Yard expansion. Rolling stock, M3 replacement, $485 million. Begin replacement of the M3 of 140 M3 electrical cars. New electric cars are expected to have a mean distance between failure (MDBF) of over 150,000 miles, an increase over the existing M3s to mitigate up to 27% of delays. Okay, for MetroNorth Railroad's rolling stock, right? We all know that they already have the Kawasaki M8s, right? But they're also going to get the Kawasaki M9A electric multiple unit. MetroNorth Railroad rolling stock counterpart to the Kawasaki M9s from the Long Island Railroad. West of Hudson improvements, $187 million. Phased construction of core infrastructure needed to allow reverse peak and better off-peak service, including state-of-the-good repair needs. Supports potential future increase in daily service up to 60%. Stations, 78% of stations will be wheelchair accessible, serving 93% of ridership. Accessibility improvements up to 4 stations. Station renewals on the Harlem Line in the Bronx and Lower Westchester. Priority components repairs at the Upper Hudson and Harlem Lines. Stations work will benefit 60% of customers. Penn Station access. This new route for the New Haven Line will carry up to 50,000 MetroNorth customers directly to Penn Station per day, reducing travel times to the Manhattan's west side. It includes 4 new stations in the Bronx: Hunts Point, Parkchester Van Nest, Morris Park, and Co-op City. So that's going to be known as the new. It's going to be known as the New Haven Line, or the continuation of the. Well, it's a new reroute of the New Haven Line, but better known as the New Hellgate Line, which will direct Bronx, Westchester, and Connecticut riders all the way down to Penn Station. Okay, Long Island Railroad has Eastside access access to Grand Central Terminal. Well, MetroNorth Railroad has PSA, Penn Station access to Penn Station, directing certain trains away from Grand Central so that Grand Central can be left room for Eastside access, for Long Island Railroad's Eastside access into Grand Central Terminal. MTA bridges and tunnels, $3.3 billion in total. Okay, now this is for the drivers. Okay, This is for the drivers, okay? The drivers, okay? Priority initiatives. The Verrazano Bridge, $1,127 million. Approach ramps will be rebuilt, and non-standard left-hand exits will be modernized and reconfigured to right-hand exits. These approach ramp projects will reduce annual collisions by up to 25%. Replace and widen 2 miles of the eastbound Belt Parkway. The Hugh L. Carey, formerly known as the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, and Queens Midtown Tunnels. $99 million. Rehabilitation and ventilation / service buildings at both tunnels. Redesign for installation of a water mist / fire suppression system in the tunnels, improving safety for the over 137,000 customers, weekday customers. The Rfk Bridge, reconstruct Randall's Island access ramp and designs for widening for southbound FDR Drive between 125th Street and 116th Street. A new access ramp from the Bruckner to the RFK. Completed projects will save 170,000 daily customers, 400,000 hours in travel time annually. The Henry Hudson Bridge, $135 million. In combination with the implementation of the open road tolling, the continuing reconstruction of the Henry Hudson Bridge will save 37,000 daily customers up to 100,000 hours in annual travel time. Potential collisions reduced by up to 41%. The Throgs Neck Bridge, $241 million. New fender systems at the suspended spans. 2 towers will protect the bridge from accidental marine vessel collisions. CBD tolling. Design, build, operate, and maintain a central business district tolling systems and system tolling and infrastructure. Increasing mobility in the CBD will reduce congestion, improve air quality, and enhance quality of life. Okay. Bridges and tunnels. Go you. And last but not least. Wait. That it? Oh. Proposed capital plan program for 2020 to 2024. Okay. Invest in the future of New York. Agency. New York City Subways. $37,303. Buses, $3,512. Long Island Railroad, 5,714. MetroNorth Railroad, 4,689. Other, 254. And the capital plan total program is $51,472 million. And bridges and tunnels is excluded, and they do not require capital plan program approval. So that's going to be $3,327. $3,327 million. Sorry. And look at the beautiful Fulton Street Transit Center. It's so beautiful. It's truly beautiful. It's truly beautiful. Let me see. The Fulton Street Transit Center is connected to the World Trade Center Oculus. I already did a tour of the World Trade Center Oculus and the name plaque imprints where the Twin Towers used to be. So later on next year in 2020, I will consider doing a tour of the Fulton Street Transit Center, because that's something I want to do for a long time coming now. Okay. Funding the capital program. We will deliver the proposed 2020-2024 capital plan program throughout a combination of state, city, federal, and local resources. Program funding plan. Now, all of this is in millions, okay? Capital from Central Business District tolling. 15,000 $15,000,000. $15 million. Okay. Capital from new revenue sources, $10 million. MTA bonds and paygo, $9,792 million. Federal formula, $7,500 million. State of New York, $3 million. City of New York, 3,000. Well, both the state and the New York State and New York City are each $3 million. New federal starts 2nd Avenue Subway Phase 2, $2,905 million. Federal flexible, $275 million. And the overall capital plan program total of $51,472 million. Bridges and tunnels self-funded, $3,327 million. Capital generated from new revenues, $25 billion. So you got your Central Business District CBD tolling, and total of $15 billion, 80% of New York City Transit and buses, 10% Long Island Railroad, and last 10% to MetroNorth Railroad. Okay? New revenues, $10 billion. Progressive mansion tax, eliminate of the internet tax advantage. Federal funds, $10.7 billion. Federal formula flex based on recent levels of $7.8 billion. Federal new starts for the 2nd Avenue Subway Phase 2, $2.9 billion. New York State and New York City capital plan programs, $6 billion, with $3 billion split between both the state and city of New York. MTA bonds and paygo, $9.8 billion. Bridges and tunnels self-funded, $3.3 billion. Okay, the next steps. Plan approval. Prepare for more in-depth briefings for state, city, and legislative partners. Prepare for MTA board review. Prepare for capital program review board submission. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and that's all there is to the 2020 to 2024 MTA capital plan program. Any questions, comments, or concerns that you have on today's commentary and presentation, please drop a comment down below this video, okay? And another thing, guys, in 2020, I'm thinking about doing a gaming channel based on train, bus, car, and aircraft simulations. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below. Okay? As always, don't forget, look at the Herald interlocking over there along the Long Island Railroad's main line. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share this commentary, and subscribe for more Transportation Hub hot content. Thank you for watching, guys. Love all of you, and I will see you guys at the next stop.